Hey, what's up? So, I'll run you through a truly beginner, entry level starter build. I'm extremely against uh, home theaters in a box. It is not worth your money, not worth your time, not worth the headache. It's that simple. Do not buy a home theater in a box, ever. Sound bars, I have no issue with sound bars. Just do the research. If you're going to get a sound bar, make sure it's actually one worth getting. Like don't get the simple basic 200, 300, $100 soundbar. If you're gonna get one, at least get a good one. You know, um, just get your money's worth, right? If you're literally in a situation where a full home theater setup just isn't possible, like AVR is not possible, you know, I get it, right? Like a soundbar is your only option. Repeat, your only option. Then, like I said, do the research. Go to something like ratings.com, RTINGS.com, and like at least look at like what is considered the best that you can get that's out there on the market, right? As long as you do that research and you figure out what's what, fine, more power to you. But for those who are trying to jump into the home theater game, the hobby, this field trip that you're gonna go on, probably for the rest of your life, you're gonna want to start with minimum, minimum, a receiver that is 7.2 channels. The reason why we're starting there, or the justification, you're going to want a 7.2 because our thing is we plan on upgrading down the line, right? That's our goal. We have our front right, front left, center. These are going to be the three that we're knocking out in this video, right? We're just getting those three things. But that leaves surround right, surround left, and heights as well. So if I ever want to get to that 5.1.2 setup or 7.1 or right, long story short, I have the option. It is there to get 7 speakers as well as 2 subwoofers, right? That's why that's important. So even though, yes, we're not putting in anything together, right? We're not buying 7 speakers right now. We're just going with three. Having the AVR that we know is capable of supporting what we're trying to do is important. This is the best entry level beginner AVR you can really get, right? I don't know anybody who will tell you otherwise, right? There's a couple other cheap Denon receivers that also fill this requirement. Sometimes you might catch one for the same price as this. You might even catch one cheaper. You can catch one on a marketplace used. Just test it first or ask to test it first. But for me, this is the baseline. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Denon S760H should be the bare minimum you're going for. Okay? Because our goal long term, upgrade. We're going to go refurbished straight from Denon. It doesn't make sense not to. It doesn't make sense not to. You don't need a brand new one. You're getting it from the manufacturer, refurbished with warranty. You're good. You're going to be Gucci, right? More than likely, the odds and chances of anything being wrong with this thing, they just don't really exist, right? They're selling it to you refurbished purely for the simple fact that maybe there was some sort of issue and it was probably nothing. Maybe there was a dent. Maybe there was who knows what, right? It got sent back. It got repaired. Or more than likely, they just straight up swapped out the board and now they have to sell it refurbished, right? But you're probably more than likely getting something that's almost brand new. So we know right now we got a budget $300, right? Let's move to our speaker options. First, I actually kind of really want to get like honorable mention out the way because this would be the recommendation if these were in stock. I don't know the last time that they really were in stock, um, but these would actually be your bookshelf speakers. Now you might be sitting here like, why would these be my bookshelf speakers when it says center channel? Like I said, there are way more dedicated people out there who've done the research, who have the data that have proven that, funny enough, using this center channel as bookshelves is actually better than a pair of bookshelf speakers. So if these were in stock right now, we're talking about the Dayton Audio MK442s, I would actually buy 3 of them. I would use 2 as my bookshelves and 1 as the center channel, and that's it. I now have my Denon AVR and I have my MK442s and my MK442 center channel. Right? I'm done. I have everything I need. Like I said, the data, the research has been done. Quite literally, these ended up working better as bookshelf speakers. Right? But I'm always one of those people who are like, you got to get the matching center. Um, Technically, could you get a different center than your bookshelves? I guess, but it's you're safer just getting the matching center. Also, I'm not going to recommend any tower speakers except for this one, but of course these aren't in stock. So the thing with these, you notice these are the MK442T speakers that were actually sold in a pair. These ended up being the best budget bang for your buck tower speakers. Almost every other tower speaker, whether you have to buy them individual or as a pair, you're going to end up spending 500 minimum, maybe 450, right? I want to say 450 might be the lowest. If we're going for straight budget, then it's not an option. If these were available, we're pulling the trigger, we're good to go. I'd get these, and then that would be my matching center, right? But you can't get either one of them. So I'm just putting y'all onto these just in case for some odd reason you can find these. They're on eBay. I don't know. You're able to find these towers for a nice, good, decent, low price, or you're able to find these center channels. If you can get 3 of them for a fair, good price, because they should not be overpriced. Anybody trying to sell them for some ridiculous, like, it's not worth it at that point. But these are what a lot of people would have gone for. There's probably a reason why you can't find them. They probably pop up in stock and they sell instantly. So, for the things that are available, right, let's come back to our AVR. We're going to stick with Dayton Audio. I'm going to go with the B65 bookshelves. Now, most bookshelf speakers, almost 95% of the time, they're sold in pairs. Sometimes just read just to make sure, because every once in a while you might go to buy one and it's not in a pair. And that can be problematic when you just get a speaker delivered to you. But majority of the time they're sold in pairs. Tower speakers aren't. A lot of times it will not say if it's each or if it's in a pair. If it's in a pair, usually it will specifically say in a pair. But a lot of times you might be spending $250 thinking you're getting a pair of tower speakers. You're just getting a tower speaker. Bookshelves, $70. You're getting B65s. And then we're going to get the matching center, the C40 for 40. I can do some quick mental math. We're at 300. We're at 370. We're at $410. $410 just set me up with beginner entry level home theater. Any movie I play is going to sound way better than it did before. Watching TV, it'll sound way better than it did before. Even playing video games, even without having 5 speakers, it'll still more than likely sound better than it did before. And because these are so cheap, right, these are a budget pick. If I really wanted to at that moment, right? If I got the money, I could just get the B40s as a surround. So now I have a 5 point, well, we didn't do subwoofers yet, but a 5.1 setup, right? But for the most part, we're just going with the B65 bookshelf and the C40 center. And for my subwoofer, actually, since we're here, let's go ahead and navigate to it. We're not going to do the sub 800. We will spend a little bit more. We're going to go with the sub 1200. All right, we're going to go with the sub 1200. So I have my V65 bookshelf and a C40. We had our AVR, that was 300 plus 70 plus 40 plus 180. You have a 3.1 setup for 590. After tax, you're probably looking at 650 even. This, I promise you, would be better than any home theater in a box setup you could really get. And you're like, that can't be true because that's 5 speakers and this is only 3 I'm getting. I promise you at the end of the day, the overall quality is better than whatever you would get in that home theater in a box setup. And then it's giving you the room to add more over time. If I literally only had 650 bucks, there we go. I got my AVR, which gives me the room to upgrade down the line, right? Because we have a 7-channel AVR. I got my bookshelves. I got my center. I got my subwoofer. This subwoofer is going to, for the most part, stay the same. We're not even going to change out the subwoofer. So every one of these setups is going to be this same subwoofer. For 650, I just got you into the home theater game. 650. Maybe tops, you're really going to end up spending 750, right? Because we got to get our wires. So 750, right? We got to get our banana plugs, our 14 gauge wire, our speaker, our subwoofer cable, and we got to get our wire splitter. So 750, we just opened the door. Like I said, that 3.1 setup is going to sound better than a subwoofer. It'll sound better than the TV speakers for sure. It will sound better than whatever home theater in a box you're getting. I can promise you that one. Now, let's say you got a little bit more to spend. Right, you got a little bit more to spend. We're going to look at the next option. So, remember, we just went from bookshelves that cost 70 and we're jumping up to 110 bucks. We went from 70, we added $40. We're going with the Naomi BS5 bookshelf speakers. Are they worth it? Yes, if it's in your budget. If your budget allows it, get them. Here's your matching center. And we're getting that subwoofer. That's all we're doing. The subwoofer will stay the same for each one of these. Here's my bookshelf. BS5, CS5 matching center. Here's my subwoofer. Alright, so that's gonna be 300. We're at 410 with these. We're at 480 with the center. Let's say 480 with the center. We're at 660 with the subwoofer. And our cables, all that stuff, that's 830 bucks. That's 830. So 830, we just kind of got a slightly better, we're just kind of moving up a little bit, right, with overall quality. Next option, the Mika RB42s. Now, in all honesty, these would be what I definitely would aim for is the Mika RB42s. Like these are some nice, solid, beginner entry level bookshelf speakers. Nothing wrong with our B65s, right? But if I had to personally choose, I want the Mika RB42s, right? Once again, we're going to get these, our matching center, our subwoofer. All right, I'm not going to keep doing the math. Y'all can do the math at this point. We know the AVR is 300, right? So 300 plus 180, 480, right? You just got to remember 480 and then add whatever the bookshelves are and add the center, right? And then the last option, I would actually say to go with the Sony CS5s. Now, here's what I will say about this. Do not get them for $198. These are on sale all the time. So, it's just a waiting game. You can get these for a lot cheaper than what they are. Do not get them for $200. Don't. Just wait it out. Actually, I want to say every bookshelf speaker I've shown you can get at a cheaper price at some point. I want to say that the BS5s right now are actually on sale. So, I mean, maybe they might get a little bit cheaper than this, but yeah, these drop a little bit, and these Sonys definitely drop. Do not buy these at 198. Here's our matching center. If I just said these bookshelves are on sale, a lot of times the center definitely goes on sale. So, yeah, like I'm putting y'all on. This is free game. If you want something to get started with, right? If you want bare minimum to get started with, like I said, we're going with the S760H. Just get a refurbished unit. We're going to get B65 bookshelves, a C40 center, and a sub 1200. Even if you don't get a sub 1200, right? Let's say you go with the sub 100 or sub 1000, I mean. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm just saying personally, I'm probably going with the 1200, right? I wouldn't really waste my money on this, right? In all honesty, even the 800 is fine. You're getting the 800, especially if you're in a smaller space, right? So if you're setting this up just in like your bedroom or something, or you're in an apartment type situation and you can't be wilding out, go ahead and get the Dayton Audio Sub 800. Honestly, any one of these are good. If you trying to definitely get beefier, get the 1500. But the 1200, typically, that's the sweet spot, right? That's the sweet spot. Just go ahead and pull the trigger on the 1200. 800 is good for small. Then we're moving up to the 1000. But the 1200 is really kind of, you're getting your money's worth. 1500, I mean, you don't really need that. But 1200, there you go. Once again, S760H, the B65s, the C40s, and the sub 1200. You're going to buy all three of these from Parts Express. They do have them listed on Amazon, but here's the thing. On Amazon, they make you pay for the shipping. So it's a weird finesse. I don't know why, but you end up paying more for these on Amazon because they're going to actually charge you shipping. It's not like Prime free delivery. So you're just better off buying directly from Parts Express. And then, of course, With the Denon AVR, I want to say that's free shipping as well, right? You just got to pay tax on all these things. So, like I said, you're getting starter 3.1 setup. It's going to be way better than your TV speakers. It'll be way better than a soundbar. Like, the only thing that's going to beat out this setup is like some super high-end soundbar, right? And then even then, once you add what, two more speakers, now you have a 5.1. Your setup is now equaling, or actually I would say is better than a high-end soundbar. And then okay, let's add two more for the height speakers. Now we're at that 5.1.2 Dolby Atmos setup. I already showed people how to do that. I got a video on that already. That whole build was less than $900 to get a Dolby Atmos certified, good to go setup for less than $900. So this is free game. Do not buy a home theater in a box. Don't waste your money on a soundbar unless it's the only option you have. Just save, buy these parts, and you're gonna be good to go. You won't regret it.